Okay, so we just finished up this, I think it's a 2007 or an 8, if I remember correctly. Just finished this E6 up. It came into our shop from San Diego, and this used to be owned by Stacy Drayton with Drayton, I think it's Drayton's Customs or Drayton Rentals. I'll put a link in the description, but if you preview one of our older videos from maybe a month or two ago, you can kind of see the condition of this when it came in. It was all yellow and had like the Super B Scat Track stickers on the side, had all sorts of crazy LED lights and colored fire extinguishers. It was a real eye catcher. But they had used it as a shuttle cart and damaged a bunch of stuff on it. Pretty much every bushing in the suspension was blown. The shocks were blown. The rear four-link was blown out. The frame was bent in the rear. The front steering column, the frame that goes up and around the hold it was cracked in 2 places, so the whole column was broken down. Steering box was bad. It was just an unbelievable amount of things were wrong with it. Also, it had a lithium kit in there, and it was a 60 amp hour lithium kit with a sporadic BMS. It was shorting out and cutting out, so we ended up just gutting the entire car all the way down to the bare frame. We took every part out of it, had it up in the air for quite some time, replaced all the rear bushings and the rear suspension, built our 8-inch, 10-inch lift kit, so 8 and 10 is the differences, so that way it sits level. But all the bushings up here are replaced, and shock bushings are good now. The front subframe bushings, every one of them has been replaced. The inner and outer bearings and the seals have been replaced. All these are new up here, new in the back. All these are new inside of here. I'm trying to think what else suspension wise. Aside from that, we gutted it. This thing was painted yellow, and then it had a bunch of I guess they were graphics or almost like a wrap where it had black stripes and things all over it, which I'm sure when they did it originally it was pretty sweet, but it had been in service for a number of years, and it just got beat up from people getting in and out of it. There was cracks all over the body, and front nose was shattered, the rear was messed up. When you drove it, it would kind of go like you just wanted to go wherever it wanted to go. So we shot the whole thing. First of all, we fixed all the cracks and damage on it, and then we shot it in, this is the actual premium UV Kevlar Line-X finish in Ford Raptor gunmetal color. So you get up real close to it, you can see how pretty it is. It's kind of hard to see it in this light right now, but it's just a smoking beautiful color. This is one of my all-time favorite colors on the gems. It just looks super tough, and it pairs really well with black. So when you have the gunmetal, and then you see how we shot the side rockers in black. So all the way down, black in the rear. Now there's a few things on here that we did not do. We kind of had to leave. Customer wanted to leave these bed rails for some reason. I guess he built them or something, so we just Line-X'd over them in black. Also, someone had cut speaker holes in. I never really understood why you would want music blasting out the side of the car unless it's for show purposes, so I'm assuming that's probably what the idea was. So what we did is we shot these in black Line-X, and we made black covers to go behind it, so no light goes through it, and that way we don't have big giant holes on the side. This one has the overhead sound enclosure. This thing was all shattered, cracked, like somebody tried to steal the stereo at one point, and we fixed it as best we could. There's still a little tiny opening right here on the bottom, but we kind of molded and fixed all this, then Line-X'd over it. We have everything is wired through auxiliary, so you want to turn on the stereo, the key does not have to be on. That goes for all of the lighting and the overhead roof light bar. As a matter of fact, this was one of the light bars that was on the car. When the car came in, that light bar was initially mounted back here. It was bolted up here facing backwards, and it had torn a hole through here. There were so many holes on this car, it was almost unbelievable, but we filled all the holes up on the top there and just kind of cleaned that look up. Added our upper LED pillar lights in the back here. Added our new flush mount, bed tail lights down here, smoked LED. So now the way it works is there's a switch up here. This activates the power to the deck, and that comes on anytime you want it to. No key needed. And then same thing with the overhead LED light bar. You can see how bright that is. Ridiculously bright. And then we hooked up an additional switch down here. This is the LED switch for the lights. So once you activate that switch, you take your remote and then you point down towards the RFI receiver. You want to change it to red. You change it to red. You want to do it to multicolor or dancing mode. You just point it down here and that kind of activates the color scheme, and you can even have it dance to the music if you want to. It'll flicker and trail, does the Knight Rider dance and all that kind of stuff. So I think blue looks the best, so I just kind of keep it on blue. We added the dual USB charge ports here. So this one is actually hooked through the ignition. That's about the only thing electronically that is. Also, the other thing that is hooked up electronically is the 12 volt. This car has the T4 controller, and it has we added an aftermarket super high powered 12 volt cooling fan, and that is powered by this switch here. So when the key is on, you can flick the switch, and then you can kind of hear it up here. So this blows through a dissipator, which goes underneath the controller, which is factory, but we added a real high-powered fan for that reason, and that keeps things cool in the summertime. Obviously, every car that we build gets these high-powered black optics LED headlights. We built our front pre-runner bumper on here, and that is powder coated in satin black. Same with the roof rack, and these have also been powder coated in satin black. 14-inch lockout wheels in matte black with the 26-inch Maxxis Suros Sun-Up Edition tires. The best tires you can possibly have on a lifted gem. If you're going to lift it way up, those tires ride like a Lexus. No shaking or vibration. They're just very, very smooth on the road. We did the seats in a peanut butter brown, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's very high quality, that's the word, but high quality, like a real soft, supple leather. And you feel it. It's marine grade, but it's very, very soft. And it's not like the normal seats that we do. This was an upgrade on this upholstery. But this one has the 7 horsepower stock gem motor that's been built with a magic magnet. And then we just installed a brand new 100 amp hour Samsung 84 volt lithium ion battery system. All new brakes, and like I said, bushings. This thing is ready to go. I'll put a link in the description so you can see what it looked like when it came into us. It was pretty much a mess of a car, and that's not by anyone's fault. It just happened to get that way over years of use and shuttle service, and we gave this thing a new lease on life. I absolutely love it. I think it turned out great. Love the colors. It drives phenomenal. And that's about that. If you have any questions, or if you have any ideas on wanting us to build one for you, or if you already own a gem car and you're thinking about sending it up to us to have us redo it, we can do anything you want. Any color scheme, lifted, lowered, widened, any color, any style, any imaginable upholstery you can think of. We can do it all. ElevateDesignsLLC.com is our website. And thanks for checking it out.